I'm back. Okay, so that's it. I'm back. I've been gone for like 5 months. I kind of just stopped like having any video ideas, and I had a ton of school. Sophomore year, it's kind of coming to an end. We're in February right now. I just had this week right now actually is my February break, which we got a week off in February. So I actually went to Disney with the band, and it was really fun. And now I am very behind on sleep. So if I seem a little loopy this video, that's probably why. So, I'm back. I don't know how much I'll be posting. It depends if I get video ideas and if I have the time, like during the weeks. I also just finished my high school hockey season, so I may be getting a bit more time to film some videos here and there. So yeah. I believe at the beginning of when I made this YouTube channel, I actually said that I was a pretty big Stranger Things fan. But since then, I don't believe I've actually made a single video about anything Stranger Things related. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. First video back, we're going to be ranking my top 20 of kind of the most well-known protagonists-ish. Throughout all 4 seasons of Stranger Things. I'm actually getting really hype. I just actually rewatched Stranger Things a little bit ago, within the past few weeks, because they are currently filming for season 5 of Stranger Things, which is set to release in 2025 at some point, probably mid-2025, summer-ish. But yeah, so I'm going to be ranking top 20 protagonists in Stranger Things, in my opinion. So let's go. Okay, so now we are going to start this list off right. In 20th place, I have Chief Powell. I honestly don't know if you can even call him a protagonist. He's not really like on the side of a lot of the kids or the other main characters. He just honestly took over for Hopper after everyone thought he was dead after season 3. He took over the chief of police spot, and he did a terrible job at it. After all the Vecna murders were happening, wanna know what he did? He tried to make a curfew for all the citizens of Hawkins. I don't know what that's gonna do to help. Honestly, he's just not a great police chief. He doesn't really care, it seems like. And I guess he's a little like funny based on like how he just sits there when everyone's arguing and at like Dustin's house, or no, it was Mike's house, sorry. When Dustin, Max and Lucas were like found at night that one time. And he just yells, "Shut up." He honestly just doesn't seem to care. He's just done, I feel like. I put him on here over the other police officer, because the other police officer is honestly just known less. So yeah, Chief Powell, honestly, I really don't care for him. Coming in at 19th place, we have Argyle, coming in season 4 as Jonathan's new friend from school in Lenora, in California. Argyle is a weird character. I think he honestly tore down like Jonathan, like with him. And Jonathan, it's when they were both just smoking weed. Basically all the time that Argyle and Jonathan were just high, and I think Argyle just influenced Jonathan, because Jonathan was like after leaving like Nancy behind, Jonathan didn't really have a purpose, so he just became big kind of nothing, and Argyle threw him down with them. Argyle is just so weird all the time, man. He's just like, I don't know, he's like, Nina, who's Nina, or something. Argyle is such an odd specimen, and he's just like a weird character who just randomly came in, and he was randomly like with the group the whole time. So 19th for Argyle. In 18th place, We're starting to get a little better. We have Karen Wheeler, that's Mike's mom. She's really just not that like seen much. She only really started having a bigger role in like season 3 when like Billy was trying to like get her to take swimming lessons with him. And she saw how like Ted Wheeler, her husband, he was such a nice dad, and she was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. But there has been speculation that Karen Wheeler is actually the daughter of Victor Creel and the sister to Henry Creel, because there were those posters where everyone had a background of like where they were kind of mostly seen that season, and Karen Wheeler's was the Creel house. So people started speculating, that's a little odd. So people are speculating that Karen is actually related to the Creel family. And at the end of season 4, when they saw like the particles or whatever, she kind of was looking around, and it seemed like she knew something was up. So yeah, Karen Wheeler, an alright character, and I hope she does have a bigger role in next season, because I think she is a like nicely known character and a loved character by many. 17th place, rest his soul, we have Bob. Bob. He just cares so much for, his family. And it was so sad when the Demodogs got him. And it looked like Joyce was so sad. And he was such a good boyfriend to Joyce. If no one knows, Bob was Joyce's boyfriend. And he was such a father figure to Will and telling him to face his fears. And he was just so kind. Bob was such a kind man, and he was so happy all the time and willing to stick up for the ones that he loved. So, I'll just keep it brief with Bob. He was a nice man. Okay, 16th. Getting into some of the characters that we've known through all the seasons. We have Jonathan. Jonathan was actually a really good character in the first seasons, in my opinion. Even to season 3, but then season 4 just brought him down when he just moving out to California was not good for him. But yeah, Jonathan, he cares a lot for his brother, and actually I could see at the end of season 4, he was a lot more caring towards Will, and I think it was more the beginning of season 4 when he was just he was going through it, man. But yeah, you can see that Jonathan definitely cares a lot for his loved ones and Nancy, and he doesn't want anything to change that. So yeah, Jonathan at 16th, I think, is a perfect spot. Okay, 15th, I have Dr. Owens. So Dr. Owens was kind of, he was there in the first seasons when he was alongside Brenner, but then he left Brenner. Or actually, I think he might have got fired because Brenner was doing this whole evil thing, but he didn't want to be evil. He just wanted to live his life. But then the military came and got him and made him, or forced him to say where 11 was. And basically, Dr. Owens, he's a nice man. He kind of reminds me of Bob a little bit, and he really cares for 11. And like when Will was basically abducted by the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer was inside of him. He wanted to help out, and he cared for them. So yeah, overall, I think, he really wants to help 11 and want to see her succeed, and he tries to protect her. He gives his life for the cause of helping, the kids. And he has his, like, people who work for him make sure, like, they're all safe and stuff. So, Owen's at 15, sorry. Okay, number 14. Our first of the main, 4 original kids. I have Mike. So, honestly, Mike just got worse over time. season 1 and 2, he was like the leader of their group. He was the one who was, commanding everything. He cared for everyone. He cared for Will. He was going out to find him. He did everything he could. When he saw the fake body of Will, he was so devastated. And he even was yelling at 11. He was just going through all the emotions. But then over time, when he started dating 11, he just went downhill very fast. All he did was spend time with her. He wouldn't spend time with any of his other friends. He was just mean. When Will and 11 moved out to California, Mike never contacted Will at all, maybe a few times, but he just didn't seem to care anymore. He was just focusing on other things. When Mike got to California, he was only focused on 11 and was only spending time with her, and Will just felt, like he didn't care anymore. But I feel like near the end of season 4, Mike kind of started going a little more uphill and started spending time with Will when 11 got taken. I feel like they had a awakening, kind of more became friends again. Best friends, actually. So, yeah. Mike at 14. Okay. Actually, next up in 13th, we have Will, another of the main characters. Actually, one of the most main characters in the entire show. So the whole thing with Will, he was taken into the Upside Down in season 1. He was kind of known as the boy who died and then came back alive. And he's really sensitive, actually. So in season 2, like, people were like calling him a freak and stuff. And I just felt sad for him. But then he got some of the mind flare like inside of him, and he kind of started becoming like less of a main character. He kind of just started to like just being there, but every once in a while he'd get that tingling feeling because he's still kind of connected with the Upside Down. He'd get it on the back of his neck when he knew like something with the Upside Down was back in Hawkins. And then when they moved to California for a new life, he kind of didn't make really any friends there. He was kind of just chilling. Same with 11. 11 didn't make any friends there. But yeah, Will, he's an alright character. He's definitely really caring for all his friends. And he doesn't want anything to change. He just wants him to be playing D&D with his friends all day long. He doesn't want them to grow up, And I mean, I guess everyone feels like that every once in a while. But yeah, Will's definitely a very sensitive character. And he's actually kind of grown on me a little more. He originally was lower down on the list. But yeah, Will, he's pretty good. Okay, now in 12th place, we have probably the face of the show. We have 11. So 11 has kind of actually annoyed me at some points, but sometimes she's kind of grown on me. So she is tested in the Hawkins lab, like before Stranger Things starts. And then, since she's being tested by Brenner, and Brenner's trying to get her to contact the Upside Down, the Demogorgon is kind of released, and then it ends up getting Will. So she kind of like started Stranger Things. She has her powers. She's tried to help the kids. But sometimes whenever she's around like Mike, she's kind of rude to the other characters. And like all she cares about is him. Or then when she comes close with Max though. But at the end of the show, she's kind of grown on me where she does the piggyback from a pizza dough freezer or whatever it is. And she tries to save Max and fight Vecna. And I can just see, like, she cares about her friends so much. And, she's just trying to save them. She wants to save them. But overall, you can't put 11, like, near the bottom of this list. She is just such a good character. And she's the face of the show, as I already said. Okay, 11th, I have Joyce. A lot of people actually have Joyce like really high on their lists. Joyce is actually Will's mom. Joyce is just so caring and protecting of her son, and she'll do anything to get him back. As well as Hopper, who when like they become really close in season 3, and then when Hopper is presumed dead after the events of the Battle of Starcourt, Joyce is just so sad, and she still has hope that he is alive somewhere. And when she receives that little doll that says Hop is alive, she knows that she's gonna have to like do whatever she can, whatever they want her to do. She knows he's probably in custody of the Russians. So yeah, she goes off and tries to save Hopper. She leaves her kids so she can save him. So yeah, Joyce is very protecting and very loving of all the characters in the show, and she's basically the mom of the show. Okay, top 10 now. In 10th place, I have Erica Sinclair, Lucas's sister. She gets a bigger role every season. I feel like her biggest actually might have been season 3, but both season 3 and season 4, she was one of actually like the characters with the most screen time. Season 3, she's down in the Russian base with some of the other main characters. And then season 4, she's helping with the mission to kill Vecna and to save everyone, save the entire town from falling apart. But on the other hand, Erica is hilarious. She has all these funny jokes and stuff, and she just makes me laugh so often. For example, like there's the one, you can't spell America without Erica, and stuff like that. And she's just so hilarious. Some of her relationships with some of the other characters are just so funny. Yeah. Overall, Erica is definitely, in my opinion, a top 10 character. Okay, in 9th place, I have Murray the Bald Eagle Bauman. His relationship with Erica is actually one of the funnier ones. They're both hilarious, and like, he's like, why is a 4-year-old talking to me? Murray is just so funny. He's one of the funnier characters, and he starts off as kind of like rude and stuff, but then, you know, he also goes to save Hop along with Joyce. And you know, he flies out to California, and then he flies to Alaska with Joyce, and he's like, hey Jim, stuff like that. He's just such a great character. Okay, now in 8th place, I have Eddie Munson, a season 4 exclusive character. But he just cares so much for, you know, Dustin, and he did what he had to. He didn't run, and he basically saved Hawkins, or he helped to save Hawkins. So basically with Eddie, at the start of the season, he was kind of like, he was, you know, one of the geeks of the school. And then after Chrissy died in his apartment, and he was just so terrified, he just ran from everything. And then the kids helped him out, and he decided to help with the mission, him and Dustin. And then he saved Dustin, and bought more time for everyone else, and he didn't run. He stayed and fought like a warrior, and Eddie was just such a loving character. I want to see him come back, at least in some form, next season. Yeah, so that's Eddie. Okay, in 7th place, I have Lucas Sinclair, the third of the 4 main children. Lucas actually has grown on me a lot. He started as kind of like, he wasn't like as like wanting to save Will, or like as keen about 11 in the first season. But then, like, over time, you know, and when he started dating Max, he was just a cool dude. He was fun, he was loving, he was funny. But then it was so sad for him when he had his basketball, like the final game of the season in the championship, and they won the game uh, with his final shot, but his friends didn't show up, and he was just devastated, and he kind of stayed with them. But then he diverted them because they were looking for Eddie, because they thought Eddie had killed Chrissy. So he ran and met up with his friends, and he basically helped to protect Eddie and to help his friends. Okay, in 6th place, a season 3 and 4 exclusive character, we have Robin Buckley. Robin is just such a loving character and a fun character, and so hilarious, and her relationship with Steve and Nancy and even Dustin is so funny. Overall, I definitely think Robin is one of the more loving and fun characters, but then she goes pretty, you know, badass in season 4 when they go into the Upside Down and she goes to kill Vecna. And I think she just does what she has to. She helps the gang, fights with them, and she becomes a part of the gang, a big part of the gang, and one of the most loved ones. Okay, in 5th place, I have Nancy Wheeler. So, Nancy is Mike's sister, and Nancy is such a badass throughout the entire show. 100% one of my favorite characters. She is so, you know, cool. And she starts as kind of like the pick-me girl, like in the first season when she's dating Steve. But then over time, she kind of evolves and she does everything she can to help her friends. She has guns, like she has weapons to kill Vecna. And she helps out the the gang, protects them. She's kind of like the older, like everyone else is kind of like lower teens, and she's like the 20-year-old who's like kind of, boss, you know. Overall, though, Nancy, phenomenal character. Her growth throughout the seasons is insane. It's just each season it gets higher and higher, like how much she does to help. And yeah, she goes to kill Vecna. She does not succeed. They think they succeed, but Vecna actually made it away. Okay, in 4th place, I have Jim Hopper. I hated his character at the kind of beginning to mid of season 3. He was just drunk all the time, and he was, he had to like care for 11 because 11 was living there, but he was just so mean, and he basically threatened Mike if he didn't stop dating 11. But in the other seasons, Hopper, he's Hopper, he's the chief. He helps the kids, and he knows about everything in the Upside Down. He went in the Upside Down to save Will, and he tried to escape and get back to Hawkins to, see what's going on and try to help the kids out. And he killed a Demogorgon in the final season to help the kids, finally defeat everything, which did not happen because season 5 is now happening. But yeah, Jim Hopper, such a good character, such a funny character too at some points. He's like, hey, stuff like that. He's Jim Hopper. Okay, in 3rd place, I have Max Mayfield. Max coming in season 2 is such a fun character. She joined the gang. Everyone was kind of like fighting over her except like Will and Mike. but she's so funny, and you know, like I love her relationship with Lucas. Yeah, and it's so sad when Max is like taken by Vecna, and she basically dies for an entire minute, and then she comes back to life. 11 saved her. She revived Max, and now Max is in a coma, and I love how Lucas is so caring. Lucas is there the entire time with Max. Yeah, it's just so sad that she kind of like, we don't know if we're gonna see Max ever be better again next season. Like, we're not sure. Okay, now my top two. I'm just gonna say them both. They always go back and forth. They're my two favorite characters. They're, I'm sure, a lot of people's two favorite characters. Number two, I have Steve Harrington. And number one, I have Dustin Henderson. Let's start with Steve. Steve, he is the babysitter of the group. You know, he's always protecting the kids. He does whatever he can. And one of my favorite moments from Steve is in season 3, when the kids are about to get driven over by Billy. And then Steve comes in and crashes into Billy's car to protect them, along with Robin. And, you know, Steve, he's just a protector of the kids. He loves the kids. They've become his best friends, you know. Starting off in, like, season 1, he was such a jock, you know. He was, like, the cool kid in school. And he was so dumb. But then over time, he's kind of just evolved to be such a great character. And then number 1, Dustin Henderson. Such a funny character. Such a loving character. And, you know, he cares for Eddie. His relationship with Eddie, his relationship with Steve. You know, it's so just phenomenal to watch. He's, you know, he's one of the main kids. He's been in the show since season 1. He's been one of the main characters since season 1. Some parts he's shined more than others, you know. And overall, Dustin, he has had so much growth, times to shine, main plot arcs and stuff, and he was, you know, down in the Russian base with the others. Dustin, he's just such a good character. I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't really know how to explain all of these. It's just what I see in the characters. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I'm back. I think this is probably going to be a longer video. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe down below if you want to see some more content. So yeah, that is my Stranger Things characters ranked. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.